Hi, guys. I'm gonna say hi to everybody that pops in, or at least I'm gonna try. I feel like I have to, because I can't see your guys' faces physically, but I can wave. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna wait.
Right, that's cool.
Hey,
Hey,
how are you, Pablo?
bien, gracias, I'm good.
Good. ¿Cómo te ha ido hoy?
Tranquilo, you know,
Yeah.
aquí trancado en la casa, como todos. Como-
So I want to just introduce you, Pablo. You're from Encompass, right?
Yes, Encompass Community Services.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, for those who don't know you? Also, can you tell us more about where you work, what services you provide, and a little bit about your position?
Yeah, definitely. So, I work for youth services, and my position is a really unique position because it is a collaboration between Encompass and the Santa Cruz County Office of Education, or the COE.
Yeah.
And so my site is at Sequoia Schools in Freedom. And so I am the wellness coordinator. So I coordinate various wellness initiatives, trauma-informed practice initiatives. I also do individual and group counseling at
Oh,
Sequoia
okay.
with students. I also develop workshops for parents and for staff to do some staff trainings.
Wow. How do those individual, like, when you work with students, how does it work from separating from like groups and one-on-one? How do you work with that?
You know, it varies.
Yeah.
It varies depending on the need of students. Some students are more comfortable doing one-on-one sessions with a counselor. Some people are only comfortable doing it in a group. So I teach a mindfulness class. Um, we started a gender and sexuality alliance, a GSA.
Yeah.
And we also have a social anxiety group for folks who don't really like to interact like on the regular in the normal way like people typically interact with so they have different levels of comfort. So
Yeah.
we try to accommodate students like that too, and try to talk about like different skills. And yeah,
Wow. So
and
it's
normalizing that social anxiety is something that everybody goes through.
exactly, yeah, and it's awesome to see it's not just like one size fits all. It's very like accommodating to everybody. Speaking on your career, how has your day, I guess, your daily job kind of changed from before quarantine to now? Like, how have you, whether processed it or changed or modified it?
It's changed a lot because my site, we have a wellness center, and so that's part of the where the funds for my position go towards is to running this wellness center. And so on a day-to-day basis, I would run into students all the time. They would come in, they would want to get snacks to start their morning, just get a little breakfast, or just want to interact with somebody, just somebody to connect with other
Yeah.
students. And or just take a break from class and to engage in self-care and learn different coping skills. Um, so that has been completely taken away. It's very different now. So everything is a lot more on the online platform like Zoom. So I've been popping in on the Zoom classrooms and saying hi to all the kids and all that stuff, and just kind of facilitating activities for them that we would normally do like in the classroom, but we do them on Zoom.
Okay. It's how do you? I know it's very difficult, at least for me, because school now is on Zoom. So how do you still do one-on-one with Zoom meetings, or is there?
Yes, so there's something called telehealth that a lot of therapists and counselors are doing all over the country now. It's called telehealth, and you're basically using a online platform like Zoom Health, which is HIPAA compliant. Basically, I won't get into that, but
Yeah.
it's a little complicated. But basically, that where you can just meet face to face with a therapist, and like our agencies are doing it. Our agency Encompass is doing telehealth. The county is doing it. CBH, County Behavioral Health, is doing it as well. All over the country. So yeah, they're basically doing it that way.
Oh wow, that's great. How can you like get in touch with them? I mean, for those, is it possible?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in getting counseling services, I mean, I'll drop the phone number later, but you can contact Youth Services Counseling. We have two different programs for youth service counseling and substance use. So now's the time when a lot of people are maybe being stuck at home and might be using substances. So it's good to be aware of that, especially as we continue sheltering in place. So we still have those services available. So they can contact our intake, and they can get in contact with a licensed therapist.
So we just got a little question on here. Let me read it out to you if I can.
Nice.
It says, what are the side effects of quarantine and lack of socializing for youth?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
So the side effects of this quarantine, basically, a lot of people are really feeling isolated, right?
Yeah.
And so feelings of disconnectedness, feelings of anxiety of the state of the world, that we're just not sure where things are going to go. People might be, unfortunately losing jobs, and job security is at stake. A lot of the basic infrastructure of the United States is really at stake. And at the same time, we have to band together and to take care of one another and show that we really, really that we can care for each other. So like some people might have elevated levels of anxiety or of depression. And so maybe we can go later into what we can do to take care of ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that at least for me during this time, it kind of at least just shifted un día hasta el otro. Like it was completely different. I felt like I had no more control, which was the hardest for me to like kind of let go of, was like realizing that staying inside was the safest thing to do. What is something that we can do to not just help ourselves, but help like I live with my family. I had to stay with them. So what is something that we can do not just for ourselves, but like our family members? Also to like, because sometimes we don't want to be too pushy and be like, hey, like, ¿qué necesitas? Like, what do you need? Like, what's going on? Sometimes we don't know what's going on and we don't know what kind of help we need, but we need somebody there to like give us that love and affection. What can we do to show that?
First, as a society, I think we definitely need to normalize that a lot of people are going through stages of anxiety right now. So just normalizing that across the board. Another thing that came to mind is that we started a game that some of the students at Sequoia are familiar with, called Random Acts of Kindness. And even showing just one little bit of kindness, or doing a random act of kindness to a family member, or just even sending a random text message like saying, hey, what's up, to a friend that you maybe haven't contacted with in a while since COVID-19, just like checking in with them. Because research does show that when we give, we feel better. We feel better overall. And that not only does that help us, but it helps the other person
Right.
at the end of the day too.
I think it shows that we care.
Yeah, it shows that we care. Yeah. So I mean, those two things are the things that pop into my head. Yeah.
I've realized how on social media, we talked about this a little bit last time, but how there's been like a lot of like people showing their new talents and new things that they've learned, and like how they're so amazing at doing it, and it's great. And I'm really happy for everybody who's like getting all this like energy and like learning new things. But some of us are feeling a little kind of like left behind, and kind of like not knowing what our skill could be, and kind of feeling a little I don't know. I don't know how I can explain this, but do you know what I'm trying to? Sorry, do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
Social media is both a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, we have all this awesome content, all this awesome content that can be the potential for inspiration.
Right.
But on the other hand, it can be super overwhelming. And then it becomes an issue when we compare ourselves to people on Instagram or people on Facebook, right? People in the media. So there has to be a healthy balance of both, like where we can find information where we get inspired, reading a book, sometimes maybe going on Instagram at times, but finding the right medium for that. I think I'm speaking from personal, but I think it's unhealthy what our media consumption, it becomes unhealthy when we begin to compare ourselves to people sharing their talents that we feel like, oh, I wish I was more like this, I was more this like that, or I wish I had a special skill. And instead, really, this is a good time to look inward and really to harness what are those inner talents, and not comparing ourselves to other people on Instagram,
Yeah.
but just to take that as inspiration, but the inspiration comes from inside as well. That's where true inspiration and creativity comes from.
Wow. Yeah. It's again, I'm only talking about my experiences because I can't talk about anybody else's. But for me, I've taken this kind of time to um, try to learn a little bit more about myself. Like how far can I go on a run? How something makes me feel, expressing my true emotions when somebody says something that I don't like, disagree with, and it's been very healing for myself. And I feel like hopefully when I get out of when the quarantine is over, I can keep those up and I can keep doing that because it really has helped so far. But what are some other someone asked a while ago, if you can give some advice on time management. This person shared that some days they feel very motivated and other days they feel they have very little energy to do homework. What are some tips you can give us, the students who are finding it difficult to stay focused during this time?
That's a really good
Yeah.
question. Sometimes when we have a lot on our plate, we're like, okay, I got this assignment, math, I got history, I got college applications, all this stuff, and it can be really overwhelming for us all if we try to take it all at one time and to kind of like go through a list one by one. It's easier to break it down instead one by one. Like set one day where you're just working on the math assignment,
Yeah.
or and then setting Tuesday to be working on your personal statement or college applications or something like that. So breaking things down really helps a lot. It helps to ease a little bit of the anxiety when it comes to workload. Developing a healthy routine also is pretty helpful in managing like anxiety and stress with like what's going on with everyday life. Setting a mindfulness routine, or like you said, jogging, right? Actually, right before this call, I did a jogging routine, and part of me was like, oh man, I don't have time to do it because I have to prepare for this interview. And I somehow carved it out because I had to motivate myself. And I know that it's really healthy for me to do so. And I just feel really good afterwards. So, it's finding that balance for yourself, creating new balances in your life. This is a really good opportunity to create new balances in our lives. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome how like I've seen not just myself but like other people around me, like my little brother, he's been killing it. He's been really working hard. I find it that sometimes people around me can be a little aggressive. I don't know how to like make it sound a little less toned down, but like they, I guess, moody be a word. How can I approach people like that? Like how can I don't want to be like, hey, stop, and get in their face about it, but I want to be kinder about it without pushing them. How can
Empathy. That might be an interesting way to do it. I mean, like, um, Yeah, it's hard sometimes when we're living, you know, in such small spaces sometimes,
Right.
and having empathy for other people. Um, and we need it more than ever, especially since we're sharing spaces that maybe we're not used to, and we're having so much contact with a lot of people. So yeah, you know, just kind of really taking a moment to putting yourself into the other person's shoes, and you know, saying what's up.
Right. Um,
Empathy, Kayla Kumar, empathy. Oh, I love it.
oh, hey. Um, let's see. Let me check on this little box because questions are just popping in. Um, can you see it or oh no, it's just me.
I see some. No, I don't see any questions.
Oh, sorry. um, alrighty. I think I read those already. Um, let's see. Do you know of any resources, phone numbers, any of this stuff that I can
Yeah,
maybe learn how to put on here and people can look at them and go see if they can use any of those resources?
definitely. So, in in the state of California, just want to preface that we're really lucky to live in the state of California, um, which has minor consent laws, meaning that like if you are 12 years or older, and you don't want your parents to know about you accessing mental health services, you can do so.
Mhm.
You can access mental health
That's
services and speak
very
to a
important
counselor.
right now.
Yeah, it is really important. And so we can do that. Encompass Youth Services. We take Medi-Cal, so you know it's free of cost if you have Medi-Cal benefits. And we have two programs. We have mental health counseling, and that number is 831-429-8350, and you can get connected to a mental health counselor if you reach out to our intake office. We also have substance substance use service mental I'm sorry use services substance use, and that number is 831-226-3728.
Okay.
And there's also another organization I'd like to connect you all with, that is national. It's called the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI. And you can get connected to a crisis counselor if you are feeling like, I'm not feeling really well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really anxious, I'm feeling really low. You can text them, and you can speak to a peer, basically somebody who has maybe experienced mental health challenges in the past before and is willing to give you that advice and feedback. And you can text NAMI, NAMI, to 741-741, and it's a 24/7 crisis line. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if like Irene Lupita's on here and can help me post those. Hopefully, maybe. Uh,
I have some other IG resources if you want as well.
yeah, if anything,
So,
I can probably post it on their story once
okay,
we're done, and people can look back and see all those all those numbers on there.
cool. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
Mental health tips,
Yeah,
like especially during this COVID-19
especially right now.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes, developing healthy routines, connecting with each other as much as possible in this time, setting up a time maybe where you just chat with your friends, like on a three-way chat, just say, hey, what's up? Like just kind of chat, like, because
Love
you know,
those.
yeah, school is not in session right now, so you know that's where a lot of people used to hang out, and we would actually develop. It's called social emotional developing when we interact with other people. And that's super crucial to human development just across the board. Working on a project, it's a good time to also really work on a project that you're passionate about, or learn about something that you're maybe passionate about. Explore different topics without getting too overwhelmed. That's a really important fine balance.
Yeah.
But you know, get
Slowly
yourself lost in
tiptoeing
a
into
hobby.
it.
Tiptoeing into it. Get yourself lost in a hobby.
Yeah.
Maybe something that you didn't have time to do before. Now you have time to do it. Get in touch with community organizations that are doing some awesome work like FoodWhat. So that's what's up. You guys are daily live streams, and that's really cool. So
FoodWhat.
mhm.
That's where it is. You know, we're
Yeah,
trying. We're
yeah,
trying.
yeah.
We're trying to help our community.
Mhm.
I see somebody commented. You can also pin the number. Just hold on the comment. Do you want to give me those numbers? It was 831. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you. I got it. I can put it in the comments, right?
Yeah. Everybody's sorry. Everybody, you're gonna see me very close and personal for a minute. Does anybody else have any more comments, questions?
Questions? There is also Latinx Therapy on Instagram, which is has really cool stuff. They post a lot of really positive stuff about taking care of ourselves.
In my for a couple of days ago, I downloaded this motivational app where it just sends me
Mhm.
random motivational quotes throughout my day to just keep
Yeah,
me thinking positively and just like trying to like improve myself every day because it gets tough sometimes. It really does. And the life in quarantine can kind of take a toll on you.
it totally can. Um, there is also the Angry Therapist, which is his name is John Kim. He's a licensed marriage family therapist in LA. And he has a podcast. He has some really cool stuff on his Instagram
Oh,
too, like about personal growth.
yeah, I
And
actually I've listened to a couple of podcasts here and there trying to like see what I like. I might
yeah,
just go ahead and look him up for a minute.
yeah, John Kim is really cool. He's really cool. And then I also started a podcast about a month ago. I'm kind of really slow at it. It's called the Wellness Podcast. Just type in my name, Pablo Orozco Castro. It's on SoundCloud. It's also on Spotify,
Okay.
just the Wellness Podcast. I talk a little bit about personal growth, setting goals, following our dreams. Yeah.
Yay! Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's definitely on my to-do list then. I mean, I'm in quarantine. What else can I do? I'm gonna get
On a jog, while you're on a jog, you can listen
right.
to all
That's
kinds of really cool, interesting stuff.
that sounds awesome. Actually, going on
Music.
a jog, I listen to like slow music when I go on jogs because it helps me kind of like think. I don't know.
Kind of opposite. I listen to a lot of fast music.
Really? I mean, I don't run that slow, but like, it helps my brain kind of like, I don't know.
It's relaxing. It
Yeah.
relaxes you. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, it was so awesome to have this conversation with you, Pablo. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to my fam. My fam tuned in. All right, my
Yay!
fam.
Oh,
That's cool. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for hosting this.
yeah. Thank you for allowing me to interview you. This is not kind of like an interview. This is more like a conversation. I really enjoyed this. Before we end, is there anything else you wanted to add one last time?
One last time.
At least in this little scenario.
Yeah. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other
Yeah.
because it's needed more than anything right now.
We definitely need to support each
And
other.
you are loved. And know that you are loved.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Pablo. Thank you everybody who was on here. Wow. I feel the love. I feel the love. Alrighty, what else? Okay. Hopefully I can talk to you soon and maybe keep this conversation going. If anybody wants anybody to talk to, I'm right here. You know, go talk to me. My name's Abby. You can find me on IG. You can probably find me on there. This was really helpful. Oh, I'm so happy, Paulina. And I heard thank you from somebody, Morena.
Shout out to my brother Gabby on the comment. Hi, P. Hi, P.
This is so cool. Okay, I've never done this before, but this is an awesome experience.
Yeah, awesome experience, right?
Alrighty, I'll see you guys on next Monday. Stay tuned.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Well, stay tuned.
Bye.
Take care. All right.